Clara Bennett sighed as she adjusted the strap of her little black dress. The art gallery opening was bustling with people, and she felt slightly out of place among the city's elite. As an architect focused on sustainable design, her life was typically filled with construction sites and blueprints, not glamorous events. But her friend Mia had insisted she come. "Clara, you need to get out more," Mia had said, dragging her along. "Who knows, you might meet someone interesting." Clara doubted it, but here she was, trying to mingle and make the best of it. She wandered around, admiring the artwork, when she bumped into someone. "Sorry," she exclaimed, looking up to see a man with warm brown eyes and an easy smile. "No problem at all," he replied. "I'm Ethan, by the way." "Clara," she said, shaking his hand. They struck up a conversation, discovering they both had a love for Italian cuisine and architecture. Ethan was a travel writer who had been to Italy several times, and Clara found herself captivated by his stories. As the night wore on, they decided to leave the gallery and find a cozy Italian restaurant. Over plates of pasta and glasses of wine, they talked about their dreams and aspirations. The chemistry between them was undeniable. Their evening ended with a walk through the city, the lights reflecting off the buildings creating a magical atmosphere. When they reached Clara's apartment, Ethan leaned in and kissed her gently. "Good night, Clara," he whispered, leaving her with a fluttering heart. The next morning, Clara's phone buzzed with notifications. Curious, she checked her social media and was stunned to see a blog post by Ethan detailing their date. His words seemed mocking, and Clara felt a wave of betrayal. Had their connection meant nothing to him? Feeling hurt and embarrassed, Clara ignored Ethan's calls and messages. She buried herself in her work, securing a major project to design an eco-friendly resort in Hawaii. It was a dream project, and she threw herself into it with everything she had. Meanwhile, Ethan was confused and hurt by Clara's sudden coldness. He continued his travel writing, but thoughts of Clara haunted him. He couldn't understand what had gone wrong. A few months later, Clara received an invitation to her best friend Lily's destination wedding in Hawaii. As the maid of honor, she couldn't refuse. Excited for a break from work, she packed her bags and headed to the tropical paradise. At the same time, Ethan was invited by the groom, Jake, a college buddy. Unbeknownst to both, they were about to cross paths again. Clara arrived at the resort and marveled at the beautiful setting. She was looking forward to some relaxation and catching up with old friends. But her excitement turned to shock when she saw Ethan at the check-in desk. Their eyes met, and an awkward silence hung in the air. "Clara," Ethan said, stepping forward. "Ethan," Clara replied stiffly. Realizing they would be spending the next few days together, they decided to put their differences aside for the sake of their friends. The wedding preparations were in full swing, and Clara and Ethan found themselves roped into helping with last-minute details. To avoid questions about their awkwardness, they pretended to be a couple. The forced proximity brought back old feelings and tensions. Clara couldn't deny the spark she still felt, and Ethan was determined to figure out what had gone wrong. Despite their pretense, humorous and heartfelt moments broke through the facade. Clara tripped and fell into Ethan's arms while setting up decorations, making them both laugh. Ethan, in turn, taught Clara how to surf, leading to hilarious tumbles and splashes in the waves. One evening, Clara stumbled upon Ethan's unpublished draft while borrowing his laptop to find a recipe. She realized the post that had hurt her was fictional, part of a series he was working on. Feeling guilty for misjudging him, Clara struggled with how to apologize. Meanwhile, Ethan confided in Jake about his feelings for Clara and his confusion over her sudden coldness. Jake encouraged him to confront her and clear the air. During a sunset walk on the beach, Ethan mustered the courage to talk to Clara. "Clara, we need to talk," he said, stopping her by the water's edge. She nodded, her heart pounding. "I know, I've been unfair to you, Ethan." Ethan looked surprised. "You have." Clara took a deep breath. "I saw your blog post and thought you were mocking me. But I found out it was part of a fictional series. I'm sorry for jumping to conclusions." Ethan's expression softened. "I was confused and hurt when you stopped talking to me. I really liked you, Clara." "I liked you too," she admitted. "I still do." They stood in silence for a moment, the sound of the waves filling the gap between them. "Can we start over?" Ethan asked, hope in his eyes. Clara smiled. "I'd like that." On the day of the wedding, Clara and Ethan were tasked with delivering heartfelt speeches as the maid of honor and best man. As they spoke, they subtly referenced their own journey of misunderstandings and newfound understanding. The wedding ceremony was beautiful, and the reception was filled with laughter and dancing. Clara and Ethan shared a slow dance under the twinkling lights, feeling the weight of the past few days lift from their shoulders. As the night drew to a close, they found themselves alone on the beach. Ethan pulled Clara close and kissed her deeply, sealing their promise to start anew. Back in New York, Clara and Ethan navigated their relationship with newfound honesty and communication. They balanced their careers and personal lives, supporting each other's dreams. Ethan continued his travel writing, often taking Clara with him on his adventures. Clara's eco-friendly resort project in Hawaii was a huge success, and she found fulfillment in her work. Their love story, marked by misunderstandings and emotional growth, blossomed into a beautiful partnership. They planned their next adventure together, ready to face whatever the future held, hand in hand.